can see those 3 2x12s, that one back there in the back, 2x12 is actually only 11 inches wide, so what I did is I split it and cut it 5.5 inches, and you can see that makes the overhang just about perfect on the counter. So I'm going to take these off of there, and I need to build some bracing to actually screw these two down on the counter. So we'll be back. Alright guys, I got my braces that go across here, and since I'm going for a distressed look, I don't really care about screws or anything that show up in the front out here, but the braces that go in the back there, anytime you do what's called a toenail, where you go in through the side of the board, always drill you a pilot hole. It helps keep the board from splitting. I wouldn't recommend this on any structure building. But this is just countertop to hold the countertop down, so there's really no weight or anything going to be bearing down on this thing, so it ought to be alright. But pre-drill your holes for sure. Always use a shanked screw so that your threads are pulling on the back, but they're not pulling on the board that you just drilled through. It allows it to spin and will pull your wood closer together. So get a shanked screw if you want tight joints. Now we need to distress it. Alright guys, like I said, I like a distressed look on this wood. Now this is going to be a double vanity, so we'll probably have one sitting in here somewhere and one sitting in here somewhere. We'll center it out, measure all that out, figure it out. But to distress this wood up, use anything that you have on hand. This is my firewood poker, hammer, hatchet, We'll drill some holes in it. Just anything you got, go to town on it. The worse it is, the better. Trust me on that, and I'll show you the process that I go through here. Guys, I'll be back on the next step. Alright guys, all I did was vacuum this off. We're going to burn it a little bit. Do not burn your house down, but get all the shavings off. I did vacuum this. Alright, you can see it's spotty burned a little bit. We're going to beat it some more, gouge it some more, tear it up some more. Alright guys, this is the next part of our countertops here. We've got them beat up, burned up, and we're going to apply some of this Rust-Oleum glaze. It's just a really dark stain tint glaze. And we're going to apply it on there really thick to get down in all of the markings, the beat up marks, stress marks that we put on this countertop. So apply thickly. You're going to remove it all anyway, so apply it. It is nice and dark, as you can see. This also can make white cabinets look antique-y. We're going to be doing that in the future to our cabinetry. I generally just use a cloth. Like I said, you want to get it on there pretty thick to get down in all of your little scars that you made on your wood. All we're doing is filling all that. This is not staying. We're just filling all these little imperfections that we made. Alright, I'll let this dry a little bit and we'll be back. Alright guys, next step in this process is we're going to sand and remove all of the coloration that we just added. All we're basically going to leave, let me show you a close-up here. Maybe you can get the gist of it. See all of these marks that we've made. We're going to sand off all of that stain and leave these marks down below inside of there, the indentions. Alright, now for all you guys out there that are doing home remodeling, construction projects, let me give you a little advice here. After building 3 or 4 of my own houses from the ground up, I'll tell you, for the money, you can't go wrong buying Ryobi tools. They are cheap and they're not going to last forever, and they're not contractor grade here, alright? For the occasional homeowner use for building construction around your house, these are good, cheap power tools. Now, they're not going to last forever, but they do work and they're economical. So most of the smaller stuff you see me use, jigsaws, my radial arm saw, my table saw, band sanders, hand sanders, all that kind of stuff, are Ryobi. They're cheaper, but they do last. For the more important stuff, my hand drills, my hammer drills, my impact wrenches, I use Makita's. Again guys, you cannot go wrong buying Makita stuff. I built several houses and these are good tools. Alright, tool accessories and what I use. Anytime you can get this brand right here, El Diablo, not El Diablo, but Diablo, get this brand of sandpaper or saw blades, jigsaw blades, radial arm saw blades, circular saw blades. Always try and get a Diablo blade. They're going to be much higher in price, but the quality is much better and they're going to last a lot longer than the cheaper stuff that you're going to buy. So always look for this Diablo brand. They make drill bits, sandpaper, saw blades, all kinds of stuff. So rather than go buy 4 or 5 cheap ones, spend the money, get you a good one. And like I said, look at 50 times, I don't know if you can read that or not, 50 times the life on this blade than a standard blade. So always go with that Diablo brand if you can. So on to sanding this off. You don't want to spend all day doing this, so this is like a 36 grit sandpaper, and don't be afraid to change it out regularly. You don't want to take it all off, but what exposed lighter color wood you do see is what's going to take your stain color. So it's kind of a work till you see you get what you want kind of thing. shows through here, that's going to be the color of your stain. These black marks, our burn marks, our beat marks, those are not going to go away because our stain is transparent. So it's just going to make these actually darker when we stain them. But I'm about where I got it. I like a pretty light color. We're going to stain a reddish color in here, gunstock red. So give it a real natural, good looking color with those 2x12s. That grain. So let me clean this off and we'll throw some stain on it right quick. Alright guys, here we go. We're going to put our stain on there. Now for those of you that haven't stained wood, the more of that stain you put on there and the longer you leave it, the darker it's going to become. So like I said, I want this to be a pretty light color, so I'm just going to get this stain on and get it off. I'm not going to leave it on there too long or to put too much on. If you're curious, it's just a gunstock reddish color of stain. The good thing is, if you don't like any of the way that looks, take your belt sander to it, sand that area back off, and just restain it. Alright guys, we're going to let that sit a minute and we're going to come back and put some polyurethane on it. Alright guys, third and final step here, we're going to put the polyurethane on it. If you got any drawers or anything, protect those or remove them down below in your cabinets. Protect all that base. You actually may have some drippage between these boards right here, not sealed. So just protect anything down there that you got. Be pretty generous with this polyurethane because you're actually filling all of those imperfections that you made to make the countertop smooth. Almost thick enough that it's self-leveling. Okay guys. Now this is by far not the finished product, but in the end it will have a gloss finish like this. It will be smooth to the touch, easy to clean with the polyurethane, and with the way it's beat up, they're kind of hard to damage per se. because if it gets damaged, stain it and polyurethane it, and you're good to go. Like I said, these will have a raised bowl sink. They're going to be white to match the tub, and we'll have some nickel plated fixtures on there to match those. This will pretty much be what it looks like. Again, we'll just add a couple of layers more of polyurethane. Be sure and sand those down, and your last layer put on with a very fine brush. Alright, that's it for now, guys, on the countertop. When we decide to paint this cabinet here, we're going to antique it up with some gray antique and blend in with what we got going on here on the tile walls for interior design work, I guess you would say. But tune back in for some cabinetry painting. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, subscribe.